The death of George Floyd last week in Minneapolis has sparked new calls for police reform, and not just in the U.S. Floyd died after he was pinned down by an officer who kept his knee on Floyd's neck for nearly 9 minutes. Most police departments in Canada, of course, say they don't condone any action, but that kind of action rather. But one man from Edmonton says police used the tactic on him in 2018. Take a look. This 14-second recording shows Jean-Claude Rukundo face down and pinned to the ground by two officers as he's being handcuffed. One police officer drops his knee on the back of Rukundo's neck. Police say they arrested him after he refused to leave a car crash scene involving his wife. They also say Rukundo pushed one of the officers. Charges against Mr. Rukundo were later dropped. The officer, meanwhile, was disciplined, but for using profanity. To hear more, we've reached Mr. Rukundo in Edmonton. He's joined by his wife, Sifa Ingaze. Hi to both of you. Thank you very much for making time for us.
Hello.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, Mr. Rukundo, it's your wife who filmed the video, and it happened 2 years ago, right?
Yes.
And tell me a bit about why it's important for you to sort of highlight what happened to you in light of everything going on south of the border.
It's really important for me because myself, I have 5 kids. And I don't want that to happen to them. The same thing that happened to me. I don't want any police, throwing his knee on one of my kids or anybody out there.
And what was that like that day for you? I know it's 2 years ago, and I know it's likely pretty painful to think about. But when you do think about it now, is it still? I mean, is it still as
still
real?
My life.
Yes.
So I'm still affected about it, especially in this time. And like you guys can see, my hands are swelling and I'm wet everywhere. And so it's just I was worried. And for myself, I think I was the lucky one because all those lucky guys that they detained like that, they say I can't breathe. They're no longer with us. But I'm still here, and I thank God for that. And so that was just a nightmare for myself because, the only thing was in my head was just to go back home and see my kids and telling that to the officer, yelling at me, say, no, not tonight, you're going to jail and stuff like swearing at me and all that. So I got really scared, and I knew it, what they will go there and they will do with my, my life. They will charge me with the stuff that I didn't do it. As I explained to you guys, I got the disclosure with me right now. Like you said that I pushed him and all that. I only got 2 charges here. Okay, I can read them to you guys. I got Lemier says, so one of the charges says obstruct for officer doing his duty. And the other one, he says, they say that the other one.
You look for it, and I'll just explain to our viewers what you mean, because what the police have said is that that they asked you to leave the scene multiple times. When you refused, a second officer tried leading you away. And then the police say the male pushed one of the police officers and assumed an aggressive stance. That's what the police say. And you were saying
That's all lie, because when those 2 officers, they came on the scene, I was already spoke with other 2 officers that are already standing there. Everything was going peaceful. Everything was going good until these 2 officers. And don't forget, I'll mention that those 2 officers, they asked me if I can find out if they will tow the car or if they can call it towing, or I can call my insurance. So by that time that I go, pull down like a kneel. So I was on the phone still with TD. So that officer walked to me, talking to me, why he saw it, that I was holding a phone and things. So that means was a miscommunication. He didn't even want to communicate with that officer, because if he did, he would know exactly why I was standing there.
Right. Ms. Ingaze, I want to ask you as well, because you filmed that at the time. Yeah. What was that like for you then, and what is it like for you now to be sort of reliving it in light of everything with George Floyd?
Well, at that time, for me, it was very hard to watch, like having to see, I just got into a car accident and then having to watch my husband put down and like mistreated like that, like he's nothing, like even a dog cannot be treated like that. The way they put his knee on the neck, the way they throw him from the other side to the grass, it was too much to watch. was too much traumatizing, because when the cop walked there, he looked like somebody's coming to help. As soon as he started raising his voice, that just scared me. I was not expecting that. If I would have known that, I would probably not even have called for help. Mm-hmm. And then living it now, it's like having to watch George. It's very heartbreaking, because I looked at him, and then I'm like, that could have been my husband gone. Mm-hmm. You know, and then it's just so sad. I feel like we need to talk right now and like put the voice out there for people that are going through the same thing and they can't talk.
And Mr. Rukundo, you know, the people in Canada, some people have watched what happens in the United States and think that it doesn't happen here, or that it can't be that bad here. And I'm wondering what you would say based on your experience to those people.
I'll say don't point a finger to your neighbors, because, you know, we as bad too. We as bad here in Canada. We have a lot of work to do, and so we have, it happens to me. And like I say, I'm just, I'm not a criminal. I'm not any, you know, we both wake up in the morning, going to work hard and all that. I pay my taxes, I do everything. I don't deserve to be treated like that. I'm a human being. I'm not a cow. I'm not a dog. I'm not a what. There was no reason to throw your knee on my things. There's many ways you can arrest somebody. If you say that already, you know, like if you saying that he accused me of beating him with stuff like that. So why you didn't charge me with that? Mm-hmm. Because that one looks more stronger than these two charges that didn't. Why they drop all the charges? Mm-hmm. If I really commit a crime, right?
Yeah.
Why they all this that? Why?
Do you want the police's actions to be looked at again? Do you think
yes,
that's what should happen?
I want the police to be investigated, and I want him to, you know, don't bring this bullshit to Edmonton. We don't want cops like him.
Ms. Ngaze, what about you? What do you hope comes of the discussion around this video and what happened to your husband?
I hope like our voice will be heard for like speaking for my people of color, like Black people, because we come from here and we struggle a lot, you know, having to run away from war back home. And then I just hope the police officer can realize what he did and like really give us a good reason why he did that to us. Was it because of our skin color, or because also the ambulance there, like when they took him down when I was crying, the ambulance lady told me, you know, he's probably having a bad day. But that's not an excuse.
There's no reason you throw your knee to somebody's neck because you're having a bad day. There's no reason to telling people start recording. They have the right to take it to record, you know, whatever police doing anything bad. There's no reason to tell him, you know, to leave him the scene, or you're gonna arrest him, or you're gonna, you know, charge him with refusing. You know, there's no reason for that. Because this bullshit there, you won't tell that to a white person, because you know that the white person, he has parents, and they you know, they have resource, they have you know, they have everything, right? Like, but the Black person is always there. Okay, he's gonna get those charged, then he's gonna go to jail, then he will fall this all his life, right? But you know, I don't want that. I don't want that. Like I say, myself, I have 2 sons. Mm-hmm. And you know what I want to see, you know, I want to see success on my 2 sons. I want to see my son to be out there in the government helping. But with those 2 cops, you know, like treating people like this, I don't think they'll have that chance, because why? They're gonna put all whatever they have to put in their name, then they're gonna go to the justice. The justice, it won't be served. Then they'll be in the front of the thing. They will look like a criminal, but they are not.
I have to leave it there. But thank you very much to both of you. I know it's not easy to talk about this, and I really appreciate you coming on the show to do that.
Thank you.
No problem. Thank you so much.
Thank you to Jean-Claude Rukundo and Sifa Ngaze.